Your voice matters. And your voice matters not despite your journey, but because of it. No matter how hard it's been, you've conquered something that others also need help with. Welcome to the Voicing Your Brand podcast. I'm Tammy Romani, and this is the place where we talk about combining a confident voice and a clear message to attract the right audience that will become your best customers. Your voice matters. So let's uncover your story, unlock your authentic voice, and unleash your message to be the voice that is heard on the noisy internet. Are you ready? Welcome to the studio. Your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. Hearing that quote by Isabel LaFleche, it stopped me in my tracks when I heard it today. Because isn't that true for all of us? We all have some kind of roadblock that stops us from pursuing what we know in our very soul is our calling in this season. And it, might in fact be the purpose of our lifetime. We know that. And we can't shake it. So I am called to be here to not only help you discover that calling, but to help you uncover your story, unlock your authentic voice, and unleash your message to the world in whatever way works best for you and your real-life circumstances. So welcome to Voicing Your Brand, where we are going to transform your wisdom into impact using your voice and the words you speak. I said it earlier, I'm Tammy Romani. I am a professional voice actor or voiceover talent, and I do believe that every voice has the power to create hope. And I also know this about you. You've spent years gathering knowledge. You've overcome challenges, and you've built this amount of expertise. And now I think it's time to share that wisdom in a way that truly connects with your audience. So, get your notebook and pen ready and open up yourself to the possibilities that your voice matters and that you can step into your passion and your calling, and that it doesn't have to be really hard, okay? So let's talk about why finding your voice matters now. I believe that we are seeing a shift happening in social media. I mean, you can kind of see it creeping in with the threat of TikTok possibly being banned. That is hanging over creators' heads, and many are scrambling right now. I don't want you to be part of that scramble, although we will get caught up in it. A certain amount of that is inevitable. You are going to see more of those TikTok creators migrate over to other platforms out of sheer necessity. I've seen one account, Under the Desk News, where they've figured out how many new subscribers they need on YouTube, Instagram, and Substack to keep their impact in the event that TikTok goes away. So the truth is, we never know what will happen on any platform, let alone TikTok. So in the long run, of course, you've heard this before, building your email list is always the best option. But it's kind of a catch-22 because we live in a digital age. The way to do that is to have a presence on the internet. The way to bring people off the internet and into your world is to build an email list where you send them back to your digital products and services to learn from you. And, you get the idea. It's kind of a big circle. We can't really avoid it, so today I want to start a series of episodes about how to stand out as a brand or a business in the digital space. Because ultimately, whether you choose blogging or podcasting or videos or photo sharing, the internet is where your audience is looking for you, and there's no getting around that. So let's start by talking about the roadblocks, the ones I hear about most often, and I hear these things especially from women, and we can talk another time, and we most likely will, about how women have especially been taught to be silent, and how speaking with confidence on the internet is especially hard for us. But it is absolutely necessary for you to do this in order to step into the vision that you've been given for your life. So you've got to get over yourself. These are the roadblocks we need to get past. The first roadblock to crash through is everyone else is already doing my idea and I don't have anything new that I can add. Okay, so here's a spoiler. Yes, there are people doing the same thing as what you feel like you're called to do. But they're not you. The biggest thing you have going for you is this. No one can replicate your ideas, your experience, your knowledge about whatever it is you're feeling called to do. And I will repeat that. No one. No one. And with billions of buyers looking for someone like you to help them solve their problem, there are those who will pass by someone doing nearly the same thing who will choose to work with you because they like you. They like you better than that other person. They relate to your stories better than that other person. No one else can be like you. So please own that. Please own that and step into your authenticity as a business or a personal brand, okay? And the next roadblock that I hear far too often is, it's too late for me. Listen, I'm 65 years old, and I want you to hear me on this. It's never too late to start. My mother gave birth to me at 40 years old, and I watched her be the best public speaker and the best she could be. She didn't retire till she was nearly 70, and after that she continued to teach and speak until she was in her early 80s. If she had had the internet, oh my goodness, the people she could have reached. But I'm 65. I feel like I'm almost starting over right now. It's never too late to start. I think I'm going to end up doing a whole episode about the over 40, over 50, over 60 crowd, especially women who are showing up and attracting an audience. And by doing what they are called to do, they're making money. You can do this too. It's not too late. Okay, the next thing, and this is the most common roadblock that keeps us from being a voice that's heard is, and I hear it from almost everyone I work with, I hate the sound of my own voice, so others will hate it too. Okay, I want you to sit down and receive this truth. Everyone says this. Everyone feels this way. I have heard big-time podcasters and course creators and coaches say they delayed launching what they knew in their whole being was their calling, and their only reason was they hated the sound of their own voice. I hated the sound of my own voice. There's this weird thing about hearing yourself on a recording. You're going to hate it. Okay, so all I can say to that is get over it. You will get over it. If you are truly called, and I believe that you know in your very soul that you are, you will be able to move beyond this. But the only way to do that is to speak more and not speak less, okay? And there are many more roadblocks. Some of them are actual blocks from external sources. Most of them come from within us, though. The indecision, the spinning in place, the holding ourselves back, the fear of failure, and even the fear of success. Every one of these roadblocks are conquerable. You can crash through those roadblocks and move into a space where you are clearly articulating the ways you can help others. And by doing that, you become the voice that is heard above the noise. So one thing you need to know about me is that for over 40 years, I've watched dreams take shape through the home building process. I'm the wife of a custom home builder, and I have learned something profound from watching that process all these years. Because just as every home needs a solid foundation, every impactful brand needs an authentic voice. And building that authentic voice is the very same process as building a house. As a matter of fact, you can look at anything that needs a process to go through, and you can go through the same process as building a house. It needs plans or a blueprint. It needs a foundation, framing the structure, putting on the roof, design and staging, and anything you want to build needs all of these things in order to be strong enough to withstand the constant changes and the challenges that come at it. And specifically about your brand, these challenges come from marketing yourself in the digital space, in the online marketplace. Now, I've also been a voiceover professional for 40 years. I'm here in my recording studio in my home basement right now. And so I know some things about speaking with clarity and confidence. So these days, I got the idea to combine those two areas of expertise to help women like you and a few men now and then move from hesitation to confidence in sharing your message online. Because here's what I know for certain. Your voice matters. And your voice matters not despite your journey, but because of it. No matter how hard it's been, you've conquered something that others also need help with. I promise I'll dive deeper into these concepts in the next few episodes, but for now I want to outline for you those building blocks of building an authentic voice for your brand. So get out a pen and paper or your notes app on your phone, and I want you to think first, because I'm going to combine my two areas of expertise. Think about either walking through a beautifully designed home or think about the reveal segment of every home improvement show ever, okay? You're looking at this home, you're going through every room, and every design element serves a purpose. Now, your physical voice and your messaging works the same way. So let's break down right now some of the essential elements. So first, of course, is your foundation, which also includes drawing the plans, because your story is your unique experience, your education, your training. This is where you map out what your foundation looks like. It also includes the challenges that you've overcome and the wisdom you've learned over the years. Okay, then we frame the building. The framework of your brand voice is how you naturally communicate, the stories that shaped you to become who you are today, and your particular way of solving problems, which is different from that other person we talked about who does what you think is the same thing you do. No one can do this like you do. And then the third thing is your finishing touches, the staging, the interior design, and that is your natural language patterns. How can we capitalize on that? What is unique about your physical voice that makes people tune in and listen? Part of that is your authentic energy, your unique perspective, and then the words that you choose to convey your message. Think about this. Your voice isn't just about being heard. It's about creating hope for others. And we'll talk more about this next time, how to do that. But in the meantime, I've created something special for you. So if the idea about finding your authentic voice resonates with you, you're gonna love my Brand Voice Blueprint. This free guide takes everything we've discussed today and so much more and maps it out into clear, actionable steps. So think of it as the architectural plans for building your confident online presence. To get your copy of the Brand Voice Blueprint, visit tammyromani.com/blueprint, or you can click the link in the show notes. Now listen, this isn't just another PDF that'll sit in your downloads folder, okay? It's a practical guide that gives you a plan for the steps you need to take to build a brand voice that gets you heard on the noisy internet. That is why I'm here. Next time, we'll dive into bringing your voice to video with some confidence by digging through your stories and figuring out what to say and how to figure out what to say, okay? Until then, grab your Brand Voice Blueprint and start designing your brand's online presence effectively with clarity and with confidence. Oh, and you can find me on Instagram at Tammy Romani, where I share more tips about showing up authentically online. I want you to remember this as we close. Your voice matters. Your experience counts, and someone needs to hear exactly what you have to share. Now let's all go out and create a ripple effect of so much good by stepping into our purpose and calling as we crash through those roadblocks that have been keeping us stuck for far too long. Thank you so much for listening to Voicing Your Brand. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you consider sharing or subscribing to the show? That helps podcasters out so much. For details about this episode and links to resources we've talked about, head on over to tammyromani.com and choose Voicing Your Brand from the podcast tab to see the show notes. I'm your host and producer, Tammy Romani. Let's get together again real soon. Until then, remember, your voice matters. Your story matters, and someone is waiting for you to step into your calling and be a bold voice of hope for them.